Okay, now we're live. All right. Oh gosh, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so we do have this area of rotation just north of Lakefield. That's why we do have that tornado warning. It's going to be interesting if they do expand that. Now, literally the only severe thunderstorm warning that we have is this one, a tornado possible label here, $half sized hail, and then 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts possible with that, or 60-mile-per-hour winds in general there. Let me just make sure everything's running. Just had to restart the stream, so everything should hopefully be well. I mean, we went 2 hours without a huge issue, so that was quite interesting there. So, what will the 2026 hurricane season be like in the Atlantic Basin? In the Western Pacific, we're... So... So I don't have really any information on the hurricane season at the moment. I just provide weather for like Minnesota and then also Western Wisconsin. I would definitely search on like YouTube the hurricane season forecast because currently, I think it's a little too early. I think right now we are looking at super El Nino, but I mean, I would definitely look into someone a little more smarter than me, because I just report weather for the Twin Cities metropolitan area, and then of course we don't see hurricanes, here. In terms of that tornado warning, let's see here. There we go. Okay, should be. What the heck? There we go. Trying to do this real quick. So yeah, we do have that tornado warning just south of Wyndham. That's going to be that rotation currently right here. But we also have another one potentially forming right here too. That's going to be something to look out for over the next couple of minutes here. And then also some storms just ahead of it. This is going to be interesting to see. So, calling Sebastian. So, yeah, I'm not much of a hurricane expert. Just know a lot about like the northern plains and stuff, and that's pretty much it. But in terms of Minnesota weather, we do have these storms just around St. James, and then also Fairmount and 2. So just between St. James and Fairmount, we have those storms. But our most area of interest is definitely in that Wyndham area here, and then also between Lakeville as well. So yeah, but hurricanes are expected. Interesting. So, but yeah, just that rotation here. I think we got a new scan here. No, maybe not. Maybe not just yet. There we go. We just have that, and then also that one just north of Jackson as well here. So, or that one's a little more messy. Let's redraw that real quick. Oh goodness me. There we go. Perfect. So, but yeah, that's basically our 2 areas of rotation. The current tornado warning is issued for this one right here. But we also do have that new area rotation potentially just north of Jackson, crossing Highway 71. So definitely something to pay attention to there. Let me just make sure everything's running. After that, a little bit of a weird situation. Just everything was freezing and stuff, but internet is fine. Truman, Minnesota. I actually saw a tornado over there, just a couple of weeks ago. Oh, there we go. Okay, I think we should be good. There we go. Okay, so we do have some cameras in Mankato and then also Albert Lee as well. So just that, and then I think we should be up and running. Yeah. So the stream shouldn't be too bad. But let me see here if we can get that clear picture here. Okay. But the thing about this is this storm does look a little weaker. You can actually see it from the $half size tail. It used to be, I think, golf ball size tail. And then also 70-mile-per-hour wind. So it definitely looks like this cluster of storms is definitely taking some of the energy away. But once we drop down to just a lesser warning, I think we'll definitely we might have to end the stream early, sadly, because this definitely is just not doing so well. Oh, here we go. Let's convert. There we go. Perfect. This is definitely something interesting here. Look at just around St. James. That actually looks like a pretty big hail core right over there. So definitely something interesting going on there. That's just east of Mountain Lake there, and then also a little bit of hail core here north of Shearburn as well. So but that main tornado warning is for Lakeville. But I mean, this storm has been weakening a little bit. We do have a tornado possible label on this severe thunderstorm warning, but other than that, so I'm not sure why you're using AI to do that. So there we go. But so we do have that. I think actually, what's the closest so the tornado warning is going to go on for 34 minutes here. And we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning, our second one. I think this is actually the first time a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for not the main storm that we've been looking at. So St. James, this one is going to be for some quarter-sized hail. This will be going towards New Ulm and then also Sleepy Eye as well. I'm just going to zoom out. Yeah, so New Ulm and then Sleepy Eye as well. And I think we have a new tornado warning here. We actually, I mean, they're starting quite a bit now. Okay, so Truman here, we do have yet again another tornado warning here. Let me try to get a better picture here. Actually, can I try to, I'm going to try to get rid of the smoothing here. So not much going on here. Let's look at the velocities here. I believe we'll start to see, yeah, we do have this area of rotation that we're currently looking at. It doesn't look as strong. I mean, there's a little bit of a stronger bit right here, but that is heading straight for Truman. And it actually is quite interesting because not too long ago, there was a tornado just north of Truman that Reed Timmer was on, and also me as well. So it looks like things are starting to get interesting here as what's basically happening. And we do have an observed tornado warning. So we do have a tornado on the ground here near Truman. That is interesting. That is so if you're in Truman, definitely take shelter. You do have that inflow couplet starting to form. It is starting to get a little interesting here. But there we go. So we do have a tornado on the ground here. Okay, perfect. So nearest to Truman, and you can actually see that inflow, that couplet start to form here. Let's look at the latest velocities here. It does look like it's kind of hard to see, but I think that's what we're looking at currently at the moment. I mean, that's the highest that we have, but apparently it is on the ground here. Oh, there we go. That's a better thing here. Perfect. I mean, there's a little bit of a divot, but it is heading straight for Truman here. Apparently observed tornado here. Then we also have a quarter-sized hail just heading northeast here towards New Elm and then Sleepy Eye here. And then we also do have that other line of storms here pretty much We do have the tornado warning, which I don't think there's not much, but I think we're going to mostly focus on Truman at the moment, as we do have an observed tornado on the ground, and I'm not sure. I hope that's not a debris signature right there, that dark spot right there. I think it's a little too far off here. No, okay. So luckily, looks like we just got a new velocity scan here. It does look like, I think our area, we do have a little bit of a inflow notch starting to form just around this region right here. So definitely something to pay attention to right there. So if you're in Truman, definitely take shelter anywhere. I know there's a lot of farmland over here near Highway 15 and then also 53 as well here. If we look at the velocities once again, we do have a little bit of rotation here just southwest of Truman here. Let me just take a quick. We do have some rotation here. It looks moderately weak here, but apparently we do have, let's see here, who confirmed it? A confirmed tornado, law enforcement. So law enforcement have confirmed a tornado here on the ground heading straight for Truman. And then we also have, I believe, some quarter-sized hail heading, or just exiting St. James at the moment, heading straight for New Elm, and then also Sleepy Eye as well. So yeah, if you live in Truman, definitely take shelter here, as there is a confirmed tornado heading straight. So, and that, I mean, that inflow notch is getting a little more definitive here. Looks like it's probably just south of Truman here. Let me see if the latest velocity scan has a better picture of where that tornado is. And it looks like it's still 1 minute. So yeah, if anything, I think it should be right here, but it's been in the same place for the latest velocity scan. So kind of weird there. Apparently law enforcement has confirmed this tornado here. I think, yeah, I think it kind of lines up. I think we're, oh gosh, I think right around this location at the moment. So definitely something to pay attention to there, if you do live in Truman, because we got these ones coming, just a little bit of inflow notch here, and then also one going around as well here. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure that we got everything up and running here. Yeah, if you live in Truman, definitely take shelter. And an update on the tornado warning here. I don't think, I mean, we're pretty far away from radar site here. Yeah, I mean, could definitely be still a little bit of rotation with that Lakefield storm. And then Truman, oh my goodness, yeah, that definitely looks like quite a bit of rotation. That is a couplet right there. And that is, yeah, that's heading straight for Truman. So just only a couple minutes until it could definitely impact. So definitely take shelter. Definitely take shelter. So and then yeah, I mean, the latest, it's kind of weird because we're between two radar sites, and it's just not, we're pretty much the same distance between two radar sites, and it's kind of having troubles here, as starting to see a little bit of hail core as well associated with this quarter-sized hail. But I think the tornado is definitely something to pay attention to more. It looks like it, yeah, it's having troubles. Let's see if we can get, I don't know why it's having troubles doing that. Let's get that tornado. I think the radar that we had over here actually was better here. Yeah. And that's a pretty good couplet. I mean, we do have a little bit of just not great, like, it's kind of in a, it's not in a radar hole. I think we're actually, where are we at? We're just in southern Minnesota here, just near Mankato, or just north of Fairmount here. And it wasn't, I think it's been like 3 weeks since, oh, radar indicated. So it has been downgraded to radar indicated storm, but I think there is definitely some tornadic potential. Oh my goodness. Yep, that's the latest radar or velocity couplet here. That's a pretty big one right there. So definitely something. Definitely something to pay attention to. Even if you live in Truman, even though it's radar indicated at the moment, I think this is definitely something to still pay attention to. But even this one, yeah, because like, for example, this radar site or this tornado warning is closer to the Twin Cities radar site, and then this one right here is closer to the one in Sioux Falls. So it's kind of like trying to shift between two radar sites at the moment. And there could be, since we are far away from the Twin Cities area from Truman, there could definitely be a little bit, but this is definitely a definitive. This is definitely a definitive couplet here. I don't think we have. I think the tornado might have lifted, but I think it could definitely still be tornadic. Definitely. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it over the next couple of minutes here. But other than that, yeah, we are looking at a tornadic storm on the ground, or not, a tornadic storm near Truman here. So if you're in Truman, Louisville, or live near Amboy, definitely take shelter here, as this will actually move more towards Lake Crystal and then Medina. The one thing that's interesting about this storm is that it looks like there's actually possibly second rotation here. We do have an inflow notch here. It's kind of weird because this is right ahead of the storm that we have over here. So these, I mean, this is pretty, not sure how this is going to end up with this storm merging into this one right here, but definitely something that we'll pay attention to over the next couple of minutes here. In terms of a couplet here, we do have potentially recycling over here just north of Welcome here, as we do have a second inflow notch here. I think this one actually looks a little better than what we had over near Truman. Still, if you live in Truman, definitely take shelter. More update on this tornado warning. I think really what's happening is there's a very volatile environment ahead of this line of storms that now this storm is taking advantage of. So, but we do have a second couplet here, over here by pretty much Tri-Mount and or just north of Sherburne, and that will most likely be heading in the relatively same direction as Truman and South Branch. So we'll have to pay more attention to that. And then, yeah, this is just north of Fairmount. It does look like it's getting a little messy here. On that storm that's heading straight for, or that storm that's heading for New Elm and Sleepy Eye, still some quarter-sized hail and then 60 mile per hour. It is getting a little messy though with how many storms are starting to initiate here. And then we also have a second storm here near Blue Earth here. So definitely something that we'll pay attention to there. But definitely a lot of clustering of storms, which is what you want to see if you don't want tornadoes. So, but I think we just got a radar scan. So, and we still have that inflow notch here pretty much on the southern end of this storm here. We don't have a tornado warning in place. Let's see if the velocities have update here. Looks like we still have that couplet over here, but we'll definitely pay attention to this one here. Not quite yet a couplet, but I think that inflow notch is definitely giving a hint to possible recycling that we could see, but definitely some interference from these storms over here. But in terms of other storms, it looks like it's mostly just staying New Elm, Mankato, and then this one between Redwood Falls, like near Olivia and Wilmer here. This one has pretty much been going on for a while. It actually started over here near Marshall, and it hasn't been doing much. I mean, you have a lot of this kind of just rain showers right next to it, and it's just not, that's kind of interfering with that storm. And I think with what we're going to see over here is that there's just so many storms going on at once and pretty much in the same location. So definitely something that I'll pay attention to there. But we do have a second couplet here pretty much right there. That's kind of our main interest point. We might have recycling happening at the moment here, but it's really going to depend on if storms if the storm can like stay away from others. But right now we have so many storms happening at the moment that it's just there's a lot of things. I think we did see Truman store. Let's see here. Still radar indicate it definitely is tornadic here, as we did have law enforcement confirmed tornado here. There we go. Okay, just have to update a few things there. Perfect. And the stream is actually running quite fine. Okay. So we did have some issues in the last stream, but still a little bit of I mean, you can just about see it there. So basically what's happening is all that air is going, is feeding into the storm here. It's kind of, I mean, you can just about see it. It's very just, it's not the best. Let's look at the velocities to gain a better picture here. And we still have a little bit of that couplet. I think we're still waiting on a new scan here. But you can kind of still see in this scan with that couplet right there, where that kind of green, it's more blue because we have that stronger winds over there, but also some red mixing as well. And then also over here, oh, there we go. So there, I mean, there's a little bit here, but I think also just southwest of that couplet, this one right here, definitely something that we'll pay attention to. Over here near between Windham and Lakefield, we still have that tornado warning, but it doesn't look like there's much going on. I mean, the problem is, like, look at how many storms are, like, I can probably count maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. I mean, that one the one near Blue Earth, I think is the one that I'm most concerned about, because it's got a good distance between these other storms, and right now it is intensifying. We can actually look at the echo tops at the moment here. Yeah, you see, so basically this is how high the clouds are, how high the top of the clouds are. And you see that I think these two storms right here, this one's a tornadic one that we're looking at. This one near St. James is producing quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds here. This one, tornado possible, still labeled on this. This one has been going on for a couple of hours, the one near Windham and Spirit Lake, and now a couple of storms are firing. This one, and then also this one southwest of Earth, or Blue Earth, are starting to fire up ahead of it, taking advantage of the environment that this one just west, the one to the west, has been trying to do. But this one near Blue Earth, definitely something I'll pay attention to. But really, we have, yeah, probably around 4 or 5 storms in one location. So definitely probably 4 or 5 updrafts, to be honest. And that's going to be good for this storm, because I mean, we still have a little bit of an inflow notch here, but it's not. We do have a bunch of storms surrounding it, like this one right here, and then also this one, which will continue to disrupt kind of that air going up and producing that circulation that we saw earlier that produced a potential tornado confirmed by law enforcement. So, but we do have that storm near Blue Earth. I think I have confidence in that one actually might have potential to produce a tornado. And then we do have some severe thunderstorm warnings. Tornado possible label actually near Sibley. Now this is basically, these are following a line here. So as the storm, they'll pretty much go in this direction, but they'll gradually weaken as they travel northeast. But the main general storm track is actually this way. So they're technically traveling northeast, but we'll continue to see these storms actually later on pretty much affect like places like Owatonna and Austin later tonight. We do have a couple of storms firing off here north of the line, like near Rochester and Winona. These ones I think are not tornadic. I think these are just some heavy showers here, especially near Mason City and Charles City. These ones aren't quite tornadic, so we'll have to keep an eye on those still. But I think really these ones right here near like Blue Earth, just east of I-35, I think definitely have potential to produce tornadoes. I think, let's see if tornado warning, flying debris. Yeah, so most of these storms, I believe all of these storms actually have quarter-sized hail here. This one still has a little bit of inflow notch, but now it's like, now you have this storm impacting it, this one right here. And that main circulation, if we were to have it, it would most likely be right around right there. So you have this storm also affecting it. So you have so many storms affecting this one updraft that's just making it hard for it to cause tornado genesis, which is the beginning of tornadic potential there, or just the beginning of a tornado. This one near New Elm, I mean, this one also is being affected by, I think, this updraft as well. And then also just jumble messes. I mean, look at this one as well. They're basically just traveling northeast as well. It's actually quite dramatic because they're originally traveling, most of these storms were actually traveling kind of like this one, like following this way. Now they're just shooting to the northeast. And I think what's going to happen is once they get like north of Highway 14, they'll most likely not be as tornadic. I think they'll definitely probably weaken. I think the storms along I-90 have the best potential for tornadic activity. So we'll see what happens there. But definitely something to pay attention to. But we are getting some new, the blue Earth storm, still something to pay attention to. I think that tornado warning is probably going to be allowed to expire for now. We'll actually look at velocities real quick. We do have a new tornado warning here. So definitely they're still trying. They're still trying here. We do have a little bit of a couplet here. This is the main area of rotation here. What makes it hard for these storms to actually become tornadic is just because of how close they are to other storms. So we'll have to see how well they do. And then we also have that circulation right here. Let me just double check to see. Yeah. So this one actually right here, we do have a little bit of a couplet right there. So we have basically two couplets. I think that one right there as well. So we have two couplets pretty much. I don't think you guys can see that. Wait, let me just move it so it's easier to see, get a wider picture here. So we have this couplet right here. This one we're paying attention to. And then also this one has been warned, continued to be warned for tornadic potential here. Tornado warning on that. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornadic potential or tornado possible label. And then just 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and then also, or 60-mile-per-hour winds, and then also quarter-sized hail as well here. And let's go back to see how that blue Earth storm is doing. And I mean, it's staying far enough away from the other storms. It's kind of weird because we are pretty much, I mean, that's Twin Cities radar, and then that's the Sioux Falls radar. So basically what's happening is these storms right here, this tornado right here, or tornado warning right here, is closest to Sioux Falls, and then this tornado warning right here is closest to the Twin Cities radar site. So it's kind of just trying to mix, it's kind of having a hard time just trying to use which radar is good. Both of them are kind of far away, so it's kind of hard to tell. But look at the jumble of mess here. Now that one going towards New Elm, there is a chance for some quarter-sized hail and then 60-mile-per-hour winds. And of course we are monitoring that storm here. Definitely probably rain wrapped, to be honest. I mean, there is so many heavy downpours going on around that region here, but that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Kind of a lot of what is it called, like just a lot of stuff going on. You know, I think that actually gives a bigger picture here. So that one right there, and then of course that one over here, and then we also have a couple couplets, just because there's so many things going on at one time here with so many storms right next to each other. It's going to be hard for these storms to produce tornadoes. Like, look at this jumble of mess. Like this whole, like, look at this. This pretty much, that's what we're looking at right now. And it's, we have multiple storms compiled into one location. So it's kind of hard for storms to actually initiate. Let me try to turn on the smoothing here. But I mean, that makes it a little better. But we'll turn it back on. Perfect. So let's check velocities once again here. I think we got a new scan. And that one, I mean, this one near, let's see here. This one north of Jackson here, definitely something to pay attention to right there. And then we do have one east of Trimount as well. This one isn't as wellly defined. I think this one, if anything, has more potential. But I mean, these storms are right next to each other. If we look at Echo Tops once again, we'll be able to count how many storms are right next to each other. And I can count out probably one right there, one right there. Oh gosh. One right there. Oh my gosh, why is it's like glitching out? There we go, perfect. Probably one right there, and then maybe, I mean, this one might also be the same one, and then we have another one. So we have all these storms compiled into one, and then this one off to the southwest. I mean, this was maybe 20 minutes ago or something like that. So this still has to update, but we have like 5 storms right next to each other, and then this one storm that might actually become overtaken just near Blue Earth at the moment here. I'm wondering if that one might actually, we don't have any confirmation of a tornado on this one right here. There's a little bit, I mean, that's a relatively good couplet right there. Oh geez, it's a relatively good couplet. It's not the best couplet I've seen, but definitely something to still pay attention to if you live near Trimount. They did slightly extend it. I think they're trying to give it time because these storms will continue to just get a lot more messy as we go throughout the afternoon. I was so many things, so many storms at the same time in the same relative area here. In terms of any other tornado warnings here, we do have one in Iowa, but that's pretty much, we do have an observed tornado warning here pretty much near Sioux City here. But as we go throughout the nighttime hours, I mean, this one, so basically to recap here, well actually let's do this. Let me zoom out for you guys and we'll go back in the past. Yeah, I mean, that's good enough. But like, pay attention to this storm and then also this one right here. So this one has been going on for a couple of hours. This one actually started maybe an hour ago. And watch them just start to kind of converge. And that's what we've been looking at over the last couple of minutes here. We've been seeing these two storms pretty much conjoin a little bit. The one storm that I'm most interested in is probably this one near Blue Earth, but even then, this one right here, this one, I mean, it's not great. It's very close to the rest of these storms. And the one thing you need to know about tornadic potential is that you want if you want a tornado, you want the storms by themselves. And this is not, I mean, this is just a complete mess here over near St. James, Windham, Fairmount, Blue Earth. We have a bunch of storms in the same area. So let's see here, radar indicated still on that storm. I think most of these, we do have a wide severe thunderstorm warning for this general area, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, and then tornado possible label as well. In terms of this tornado, or not tornado, this severe thunderstorm warning here, we still have quarter-sized hail for New Ulm, and then also 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's pretty much the base minimum is 60-mile-per-hour winds, and then also quarter-sized hail. So but I think really this one right here, this one might be something to look out for here. I think let's look at the couplet, see how well that's doing. Try to see. I mean, yeah, I mean, there's barely, there's not a lot of velocities here, so we'll still pay attention to that as that approaches the Minnesota border. But for right now, I mean, we have this one right here. There's still a little bit of a couplet. I mean, it's not, that's a very weak couplet, and I think really what's happening right now is just a lot of storms right next to each other. This Truman tornado warning, there was a confirmed tornado from law enforcement, so we're still keeping an eye on that one. But I mean, you have a lot of storms right next to each other. Let's try to go back to Echo Tops here, and these blobs that you see right here, like these high blobs, like this one, and then this one, And then maybe you could count like this smaller one and these ones. So basically these are individual updrafts. So an updraft is basically like a beating heart of a storm. And basically what happens is all this moisture, all this rain in air goes up, and then it basically shoots to the top of the atmosphere here. And I think some of these are actually around 51,000 feet, which is around, so airplanes fly, or your typical commercial airplanes fly around 30,000 feet. So that's around 20,000 feet more than that. And we do have a new tornado warning. I believe that's going to be for Blue Earth. So that's the one that we've been looking at for the last couple days. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is the one that I've been keeping an eye on. I think this one actually has the best potential at producing a potential tornado here. We do have a little bit of a couplet here. It's not quite there just yet, but it's definitely it's definitely trying to produce one right now at the moment here. And then we also have this one right here. This actually looks like a bit of a couplet as well. And then also that one, I think this one right here is just this couplet. We'll go back to this one as well. And then we also have an we have an extension to that here. I don't think radar indicated hail is 0, because what happens is there's so many updrafts that the hail is very hard to form in these types of situations. In terms of, it's very hard to see the couplet because we're basically between two radar sites, but I think we're focused on pretty much right here. And then also there's, I believe that's it. Yeah, right around right there is kind of where we're focused on, right there, where that green and red is. And also that Blue Earth one, which is one that I think I have pretty high hopes for, or high, I think this one could definitely produce a tornado. I don't have high hopes for it. I just, this one I think has the best chance to produce a tornado. And you can see if inflow notch start to form here. This is a relatively, I mean, it's kind of a small supercell here, but that does not mean that it's not going to produce a tornado. So, but look at this, look at these storms here. So those are 3 storms right here. Those purple dots are hail technically, but because they're so close together, they're just they can't really form any hail. Even this one is pretty much only warned for that tornadic potential and no hail. But we do have 60-mile-per-hour winds possible, and then also tornadic possible, but we do have some radar or some tornado warnings covering those as well. So let me just make sure everything's running well. But this one is looking quite concerning because it's far enough away. I mean, it's just a couple of miles away from this storm right here, so we don't want it too close to where, or we want it closer so it actually disrupts the formation of tornadoes. So okay, let me take it. It's starting to get crazy out here as we're starting to see these storms actually, like, because we had one dominating storm, and now we're starting to see storms actually fire ahead of that dominating storm, which is pretty much, I mean, so this storm right here, oh my goodness. Okay, so we do have a blip right here, but we'll focus more about this one. So this storm right here, the one that I have circled, has basically been dominating over the last 3 to 4 hours. It actually formed over Sioux Falls, or close to Sioux Falls, which is in South Dakota. And now we have this storm fired up, and then this storm, and now this storm fired up ahead of it. And basically, if I zoom out a little bit, this environment right here, let's see here. So basically what's happening is there's a lot of storm fuel right here. So fuel, we'll say fuel. So what's happening, did I say fuel wrong? Okay, fuel. So basically storm fuel. So whichever storm is ahead of the ones, whichever storm is ahead basically gets advantage of taking all this fuel away. And what we're going to see is this storm actually right here, if it stays far enough away, I think it definitely has the potential of potentially producing a tornado. And then also this one south of Blue Earth pretty much is kind of like this one. This one also will most likely have tornadic potential within the next 30 minutes, most likely. So that's pretty much what's going on right now here. Let's look at velocities. pretty much the same. I mean, we do. I mean, if anything, that tornado is. I mean, if we were gonna have a tornado, I think definitely. It's gonna vary. I mean, it's definitely going to be over the next couple minutes. I think it's trying to form, but I think because it's so close to like this storm. Because look at how close it is right now. So we have 3 individual storms right here. Let me check. Yeah, okay. So no confirmed tornado on that. If you live in St. James, there's a ton of rain falling right there. And then we do have a new tornado warning here, pretty much between Mountain Lake and then Jackson here. I think this one, I'm not entirely sure why they issued one. I think there's a little bit of a couplet right there. So that one might try to form. And then also, we do have that one. We'll go back to the Blue Earth one. We actually have 2 new storms near Blue Earth. So, but I'm going to definitely keep an eye on this one near Blue Earth here. I think we got audio. Let me check real quick. Okay, perfect. Okay. So basically, yeah, Winnebago definitely is raining there, and also that tornado warning there as well. In terms of that, okay, that was interesting. We did have a little bit. It's interesting, a little bit of inflow. I think it actually reset. It keeps resetting the radar loops here. We do have a potential inflow notch right there. I think it just about. Let me see if I can restart it. There we go. Okay, perfect. That's what I wanted. So basically, you can see here that wind going around, and we'll start to see that. So diverging winds, we'll start to see that wind start to spin there, and that's what this storm is trying to do at the moment. This one south of Blue Earth, this one is definitely going to be something to pay attention to. I think it's trying to. And it might follow the same suit as Blue Earth here. We do have a storm, just potentially some showers intensifying just between there. So that will be interesting to see what happens between this storm, because this one right here actually might disrupt both this storm and then also this one. It might just not, like, it might just prevent the storm from firing. So that might be the saving grace for Winnebago right now, this part right here just over Blue Earth. If we look at the velocities here, pretty much, I mean, there's not much. I mean, we don't have winds. If anything, it would be southwest of Winnebago at the moment. It's trying. It's definitely trying to produce a tornado, but not quite there yet. So, that one near St. James, I mean, now this is just starting to turn into one massive storm. We'll try to do this real quick. We'll add a little bit of smoothing. There we go. Okay. Makes it a little better. So Mankato, it's starting to rain. I did have some cameras here. So yeah. That storm near New Elm is still quarter-sized hail and then also 60-mile-per-hour winds here. Currently it looks like what's happening with this storm at the moment, this one is really the only one. I mean, even then it's going this direction, but this the Twin Cities, I think what will happen is we might see these storms go over here, but the Twin Cities isn't in a very good environment right now. So what will most likely happen is these storms will actually gradually weaken as they travel. Oh, we do have a new tornado warning. These storms will most likely gradually decrease in severity as they travel northeast. Speaking of that, we do have a tornado warning here. Radar indicated, no hail. The one thing that's going to be interesting about these storms is really there's so much going on at the moment in terms of so many storms right next to each other. What we're looking at is most likely this one, because it was just tornado warning, or this one. So Truman once again might see some storms here, and then also this one over near Winnebago here as well. So definitely something to pay. Sorry about that. So, dog. There we go. Okay, we should be good now. Okay, so like I was saying before, we do have one new tornado warning here issued for Truman once again here. We're looking at that velocity here. And then we do have a little bit of red there. That means that we could definitely have a tornado starting to develop here. I mean, it's been trying to develop for the last couple days here, or last couple of minutes here, but this might actually be the first site of potential. No, actually, it's there. You can definitely see those converging winds. So basically what's happening is you have that spinning motion here. Let me try to get into velocities here. But the one thing that will be interesting to pay attention to is this storm near Blue Earth. This one actually might disrupt. Sometimes good dogs need to remind you that they're good dogs. Yeah. So this storm right here, this one that I have circled, this one actually might disrupt. I don't think it will quite yet because I don't think it's strong enough. But this one right here near Blue Earth, it might be a saving grace for this. But we do still have that storm near Truman here. Basically what's going on is we have this inflow notch here. So if you're in Winnebago, definitely take shelter as that tornado or that tornado is definitely developing here. And also this one right here, we do have a little bit of inflow notch there with another tornado. So basically back-to-back tornado warnings here. Let's look back at velocities here. Hopefully they're updated. We'll start to see an update pretty soon. Come on. There's a little bit, because we're a little far away, yeah. It's trying to. It's not quite there though, but Winnebago, Truman, definitely take shelter. Blue Earth here, so just southeast of Blue Earth, we do have that one storm, which might start to intensify because, like I said before, you do have all this fuel right here. Now these storms right here, the ones that you see over here, these ones aren't quite, I don't think they're most likely going to become severe. I think it's mostly this line right here, but definitely we'll still keep an eye on these ones. We'll definitely keep an eye. Luckily the tornadic potential over here near like southeastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin isn't as bad today. It isn't as volatile, which basically means that it's a little lower over there. So, but if you live in Truman, definitely take shelter, as well as Winnebago as well. Let's try to see if we can get latest velocity scans here. And pretty much, yeah, we do have a little bit of spin here. And there's also maybe that one right there too. It's kind of hard to tell with that, but I think it might be that one right there. And then also this one right here as well, heading just, it might just about miss Winnebago to the west here. But if you're in the tornado warning, definitely take shelter. So, and then update on that storm near New Elm. It looks like that severe thunderstorm warning has expired here. And yeah, I think really once they cross into Highway 14, there is a chance that it could go severe, but I think really the severity, especially with how many storms are right here. I mean, this blob of storms will gradually go to the northeast. So I think eventually the Twin Cities might be impacted by these thunder showers, I guess you can say. But it won't be as severe, most likely. But here we go. Definitely still something to pay attention to. So don't let your guard down if you live in the Twin Cities metropolitan area. In terms of Blue Earth here, we still have that storm southeast of there. That's definitely something that I'm going to pay attention to. But also here near Winnebago and then also Truman. It's quite crazy because Truman did have a confirmed tornado by law enforcement not too long ago. I believe it was probably like 30 minutes ago here. I think we've almost been going on for an hour now. So that's quite, or maybe like 3 or 4 hours. Because I did have to restart the stream due to technical difficulties. But we're officially back. The Spirit Lake supercell, that one right now I think might actually be experiencing some interference from these showers right here. So what's happening is it's trying to move to the northeast here, but also you have these showers ahead of it. So I think what's going on is it's just overcrowding quite a bit. We do have some We do have an observed tornado warning just east of Sioux City. It's definitely something to pay attention to there. Let's look back at velocities here. Pretty much, I think it's still going to update here. Yeah, there we go. So I think what we're going to be focusing on is probably right around right here. Oh, there we go. Just updated. And it's really hard to say. Because this Winnebago storm has kind of been just, there's strong winds going into it, but there's no winds kind of making that circulation motion. There's still spin, but there's not as much like one direction is outweighing the other. So that's kind of interesting there. In terms of that storm that was right between that Winnebago storm and Blue Earth storm, it looks like it's starting to, I think that actually might have saved it, to be honest. I think this little blob right here, even though it might look small, I think kind of disrupted the updraft, or kind of the inflow that we saw over here. So this storm right here, this one will be interesting. I think this one will kind of be like what we saw over here, because pretty much it was kind of the exactly the same, because this one right here pretty much looked the same as this one. Not the exact same, but I mean this one is definitely the one over near just east of Blue Earth, is definitely starting to kind of strengthen a little bit. It'll take time for them to strengthen, but we are expecting some showers, some probably thunder showers to enter the Twin Cities. Definitely looks like the Twin Cities has just been really just missed almost every single time by this severe weather, which is just crazy here. But just to recap what's kind of been going on here, let me try to see if I can do this. There we go. Okay, so right here you do have that storm right near New Earth. Okay, Blue Earth, perfect. And you can see, look at the gaps you can kind of see between these storms, especially this one right here, this one as well. And then as I fast forward here, you can kind of see it's kind of merging together. You see kind of this inflow. I think this one's the one that's tornado warning. Keep an eye on this circulation right here. And as we go throughout, it kind of just closes. That inflow notch, the way the storm gets the fuel, looks like it's just been closed shut. But still, if you're in that tornado warning, definitely pay attention, or definitely still take shelter here. And I think we're seeing the same thing with the Winnebago storm here as well, as a lot of storms right next to each other. But and like, yeah, you can see right here, I think just, you know, there isn't, usually you want kind of like, you want red and green kind of converging with each other, and you can kind of see it's trying to, but I mean, you can see a little bit of gray right there. So if anything, it might try, but it's just having troubles with how many storms are right next to each other. So, but there are quite a few tornado warnings, that's for sure. Just a lot of things going on at the moment. I'm trying to see here. This storm right here was actually the one that we saw near Marshall. And I think the problem that we have here is there's a lot of storms right next to each other. I feel like I've said that like 1,000 times, but if we check here on that Sioux City, I think there's still absorbed tornado here. Let's just quickly check what's going on here. Yeah, it actually looks like this is kind of what we saw earlier in Minnesota here with that inflow notch. And apparently it's confirmed. It's a confirmed tornado. So I guess if you live in Kingsley, definitely take shelter there, as there's really confirmed tornado. So let's go back to Minnesota here, where we do have still that storm. I mean, it's just the real question is, will these storms stay far enough apart from each other to actually you know, be able to produce a tornado? Right now the answer is definitely no, because you got quite a few storms. We'll actually look back at the echo tops here, because we did get a new scan. I'm actually going to wait, see the velocities here, see if we can get any more update. It's going to take a little bit of time just to update real quick. I think it's, maybe not. Is it not going to update? Yeah. Looks like all the watches are south of Red Wing. Twin Cities will probably, yeah, I think really the thing that oh my goodness, I think what's going to happen is we'll probably see these storms gradually approach the Twin Cities from the southwest. I don't think they'll be quite severe though, just because I think all that storm fuel is actually over here pretty much along the I-90 corridor. That's what most models were suggesting here, but as you go to the northeast, they'll probably weaken a little bit. So I think that's probably the scenario for the Twin Cities, but if you live along the I-90 corridor, we'll definitely keep you guys updated on that. But it seems like once they cross over US 14, it looks like they're not as strong here. But let's see here, see if everything's going well. It's definitely raining in Mankato. Let's see if I can get a better view for Albert Lee here. Because I think we had a northbound view, and I think we're actually expected to see, or really anywhere. Oh my goodness. We got a new radar scan. Okay, we'll look at that shortly here. Perfect. Oh, do we have a camera? No, we don't. Okay. I was like, I thought we were going to have a camera right next to this. Ooh, what about this one? Nope. Okay, that's stationary cam. There's a lot of stationary cams over near like the I-90 corridor. There's not northbound. Here we go. Okay, this is the camera that I wanted to look at. So that one should maybe give us a better view. I know we had a pretty, I'll throw you on the tablet, which means my color commentary will stop. Have a good night. Yeah. Well, have a good night. Hopefully storms don't wake you up, but I think we should be relatively quiet in terms of Twin Cities tonight. Yet again, another example of why a lot of people think that the Twin Cities or a lot of cities have barriers around them. It's just really weird. This year has been really weird in terms of just not having many severe storms or just completely missing them to the south anyway. So we'll see. Making sure there. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Oh gosh. There we go. So we still have those tornadoes. Let's actually check on the velocities here. Okay, that one near Blue Earth. This one is definitely going to be something to pay attention to. Right there. These storms are still trying. Near Truman and Winnebago. That's where we have our currently 2 tornado warnings here. And then we also have one near St. James as well. But I think over here, just along the I-90 corridor, yeah, I think we have a little bit of a storm developing here. It's still, you know, I think there's still a little bit of a gap here. I mean, this blob right here, actually, what might be happening here, let's look at the latest time loop here. Never mind. I thought it was traveling more to the east, because what could happen is maybe we'll see these storms actually, like this storm, what would be a really bad situation is that these storms continue to go to the northeast. Let me draw it out for you guys. These storms continue to go to the northeast, and then this one actually shifts to the east. I don't think that's going to happen, but if that were to happen, this storm would pretty much be by itself and would most likely produce a tornado. But I think the gradual storm, yeah, it's traveling to the northeast. So I might actually save it. So, but this storm right here definitely will pay attention to over the next couple of minutes, or you know, for how long it might take for it to potentially produce a tornado. In terms of this one actually looks a little healthier than a couple of minutes ago here. You can see a little bit of a couplet right there. This one near Winnebago, I mean, this might actually turn into a couplet soon. I think this actually, yeah. So if you're in Winnebago, oh no, never mind. Okay. This one right here, though, south of Louisville, definitely will pay attention to that. But this one over here near Blue Earth, or just east of Blue Earth, yeah, definitely looks interesting. Pay attention to that one. Just making sure that stream doesn't go dead again. But I think what might have happened is it just hit 2 hours. But huh, that's weird. There we go. So we have those two storms. I mean, these are just kind of like, look at how messy of a storm system that is. Usually you want the storms to pretty much be by themselves, like the Blue Earth storm that we have down here east of Blue Earth. But let's see here. There we go. All right. Stream. I'm trying to see on YouTube. There we go. Okay. So we do have this one right here. Okay, this one is looking more and more concerning. Over here we have a little bit of a gap between this system, and if this gap stays the same, we could definitely see a storm start to become tornadic here. Let's look at the latest velocities here. We'll have to wait. And then this one near oh my goodness, the one near Truman here actually might have potential. I think this one right here, yeah, I think that, I mean, it's a little bit of a couplet. It's kind of messy. But definitely something there. There is a little bit of rotation just slightly northwest of Winnebago. That's pretty much it. And then still not any rotation coming out of that one, but I think that's bound to become tornadic as we go throughout. Just make sure this is good. There you go. Hopefully you guys can hear me. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, and then the one near St. James, the tornado warning near St. James has expired. I think what's going to happen is once, let me go back. Once these storms start to just, once this whole blob completely like merges, I think we'll definitely see, you know, these tornado warnings start to disappear. Except for this one. This one, I mean, for the last couple runs, for the last couple radar runs, has actually stayed by itself quite nicely. Not nicely in a good way, but just it's maintaining a pretty healthy gap between these storms, and that's what you need. This one right here near Truman, look at the latest velocity scan. This one definitely might be interesting. We might have to keep an eye on that one, but we'll see. Update on the Twin Cities. Yeah, I mean, we did actually, that radar, I think that tornado warning actually expired. Yeah, I think so. They did let that one north of Winnebago expire, and I think one of the reasons for that is because if we look back at the velocities, I think you can see it quite clearly that usually you want something that looks kind of like this. I mean, even then, this isn't really healthy, but this is just pure, just, you know, there's nothing converging, there's nothing making there's no spinning motion in north of Winnebago. However, north of Truman there's a little bit of circulation. I think if we were to have a camera, I think there might be, well, first of all, it would most likely be rain wrapped, but we might have a little bit of a wall cloud forming right there. So definitely be on high alert if you live in Louisville, and then also potentially Garden City and Good Thunder in the future. But I think really the tornadic potential of this blob of storms right over here. We'll just, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but this one near Wells, definitely something just west of Wells. We'll keep an eye on. So, but it's definitely pouring now in Mankato. Let's see. Do have visual, but we'll soon. That traffic cam that I have in the north, no, not northeast, the top left corner, that will actually show us quite a bit here. We'll see how heavy the rain gets, but yeah. Try to see here. Yeah, just west of Wells is what we're looking at the moment. Then we do have a little bit of circulation here north of Truman here. Let's go back to velocity, see if we got a recent scan here. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit. I think if you were to be on the ground, you'd probably get a little bit of a wall cloud right there. So there might be a little bit of spinning motion, just weak spinning over there up in the atmosphere. Albert Lee, I don't think there's a really, actually we'll have a good camera on this storm near Blue Earth, or near Wells now. I think actually if it continues to go, oh, we got a new severe thunderstorm warning. So for those who live in Winnebago and then also Lake Crystal, and then also these Amboy, Garden City, Good Thunder, and then also Granda, and then Devil Van, there is a new severe thunderstorm warning for $half sized hail, 60 miles per hour here. Let's see the storm motion on that. I think that's going to be northeast, moving east at 25 miles per hour. So definitely keep an eye on that. This one right here, I mean, if anything, I think this might be the final shot at potentially becoming tornadic. We also have this jumble of storms here, more in Iowa here, but I think this is more of a QCLS tornado threat, where it's more of a line of storms. What we kind of saw earlier in the day, was definitely keep an eye. But I think the problem is that we saw storms fire up between our dominating storm, and if we saw maybe one storm, I don't think it would have been an issue, but we saw a whole jumble of storms fire up, and that just basically caused what we now see as this jumble of a mess. And in terms of tornadic potential, that's great if you don't want to see tornadoes. There's still this storm though. Still this storm west of Wells that we'll keep an eye on over the next couple of minutes. These ones right here, luckily these storms right here, luckily are not tornadic. The ones that you see over here near like La Crosse and stuff, just some heavy downpours, and I think that will actually add a little bit of a flooding risk. I don't think it's not as widespread though. Luckily, we'll actually go to the La Crosse. Yeah, just some potential. I mean, it looks like tiny supercells, but luckily not much expected out of that. It's actually firing up near I-94 near Baldwin and Menominee, so quite interesting. So, but I think the main action will most likely stay along the I-90 corridor. So yeah, yeah, I was actually on the Truman tornado earlier this year. I think it was April 13th, so that was quite surreal. Almost everyone was on that storm, because there was like 50 different POVs that I looked back at. Someone took like a picture of my car like in the distance, and the way the perspective was, I think it was like a fisheye lens, and it looked like I was like maybe like a football field away from the tornado when I was actually probably a mile away, which is still pretty close. But if you want to watch that, I think it's on my YouTube channel. So yeah. Oh wow, cool. So yeah, everyone's on that storm, I feel like. So in terms of, let's keep an eye on that velocity here. I think it's starting. I mean, there's some weak rotation right here, and then maybe you could possibly count out that one too. So we have potentially some 2 areas of rotation right there as well. Now the one near, I wish there was a good camera out right there. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So we do have potentially something forming right there. I don't know. I think that might be another storm trying to develop right next to it. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. It's definitely something to still pay attention to. Mankato, how's her? Well, it's still raining in Mankato. I mean, yeah, because I think the camera that I have is right around this location or just south Mankato, and it's about to get really heavy here. So yeah. Update southeastern Minnesota, like this, there's just a couple of blobs of storms here. Not much is expected out of these, I don't believe. Just along the I-90 corridor here. But I think as we go through the nighttime hours, I think really that tornadic potential is definitely going to decrease. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. Let's see here. See if they updated. I think they did release a new outlook for today. Let's see here. Oh my goodness. Someone just fired a firework. Holy smokes. The wind threat, yeah. So the wind threat isn't as extreme as it was earlier. I think we were getting like 70-mile-per-hour winds here in like Lorraine and Worthington. So but just because of these storms firing up, it just really turned it up. But I think what might actually happen is these storms actually might fire up. They might intensify. And what we might get is just a big storm. I'm hoping that's not my stream starting to. Okay. For the Minnesota warnings, have any of them been radar indicated or have a CC drop? I do. There was a confirmed tornado from law enforcement near Truman. I believe it was just southwest of Truman there. It was kind of weird. I mean, it actually had a pretty good velocity couplet. I don't know about CC drop. I forgot to check for that. But it looks like this one near north of Wells, near Minnesota Lake, isn't really doing much at the moment. I think actually that's some storms firing up just south of it. But no, I forgot to check if there was a CC drop. So, but other than that, I think really, yeah, we just have a couple of or I think these might actually produce some rumbles of thunder, but that's pretty much it. I don't think that was a thunder. Like there was a big boom from outside. I don't think that was thunder, but that might have just been a firework. We'll see. Someone's firing off the fireworks when it's almost just about raining. So we'll see. Yeah, this might actually be the last tornado warning of the night. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I was saying before, like we might see these storms like grow bigger, and then we'll just have a big line of storms. I think that's what the models were showing. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what will happen when we finally see these storms start. Because I mean, it's starting. It's these storms. I think there's a good like 4 storms right over here, in this one blob, and then they finally morphed together. But it does look like we'll probably see. I don't think there's going to be any really much severe potential. I think we'll definitely see some heavy downpours potentially. Some showers here in the Twin Cities, and then also just north of there. There is a flooding risk too. A slight risk for flooding, mostly for tomorrow because we're going to see rain tonight, and then a little bit of tomorrow morning. But also we're going to see severe weather once again tomorrow, so that should be interesting. Well, we'll keep you guys updated on that. Oh my goodness. Oh, I should really get a cushion. Holy smokes. But yeah, this storm north of Wells has just been, yeah. I mean, I had pretty high confidence in potentially it producing a tornado, but we'll see. Did it? I don't think it updated. But, oh, I didn't update the thing, but I didn't update the outlook on the bottom left. But it's starting to rain. It's starting to pour in Mankato. All right, so. If you live in Mankato, rain alert. There is also that tornado possible one. I think they actually added that tornado possible label. half dollar sized hail, and then 60 mph. So actually, most of this was like quarter sized hail, but I think it actually might be starting to revive itself. I think the tornadic potential will be a little lower unless it actually starts to form into what it was earlier. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. What is that? What is this? Okay, that actually looks like, look at this boa. This is kind of what I believe might happen later on. You see how that Boeing echo shape is like? I think what might happen here is we'll actually see this line of storms kind of form right here. Or you might see that kind of travel to the north or just to the east here. I think that's probably the most likely scenario, or just a possible scenario. These storms might actually grow a little larger over here along the Iowa border. So we'll see what happens. Let's go back to the velocities. See what's happening over here. Yeah, I mean, there's not much going on over there too. I think that warning will actually expire. They'll allow that warning to expire pretty soon. But holy smokes! But yeah, the Minnesota Lake storm, I think we'll keep an eye on it. But right now, I mean, there's a little bit of interference from the south, and then also it's starting to conjoin with. I mean, Mapleton's kind of in the middle of it, but the storm will probably overtake it a little bit. So we'll see what happens. But in terms of tornadic potential, I think we're a little lower. So we'll see what happens. But keeping an eye. Oh my goodness. We do have quite a bit going on over here. Let's see what's going on in Omaha. Holy smokes. We got quite a few tornado warnings. In one just location, which is crazy. And then severe 70 mph wind gusts. This one I think was 70. Yeah, 70. 80 miles per hour destructive winds here. Potentially just east of storm. And they did add a new. Okay. It might just be one of those things. Major QES span. Yeah. We do have tornado possible label on that one, but our little blobs of storms in Minnesota, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it is starting. I feel like it's starting to kind of turn into one storm. And then what we might see is this blob of storms right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. But this might actually strengthen to kind of what we see over here. But we'll have to see. I think it might just turn into one big massive storm, or one big massive line of storms. But I'm wondering about that Truman tornado. I'm gonna see if I can get a picture, or picture of that Truman tornado. So we'll see. Twitter, best things. If you guys see Truman. Yeah, that was, I mean, it was a quick observed tornado. And that really like kicked it off for a second. Like we had 3 tornadoes at once, I think. 3 tornado warnings, not tornadoes. Actually, no, let me go on. Because that like lags the stream quite a bit if I have an extra tab open. Let's go to my backup computer, or this computer right here. Yeah. I think if I had tab open, like on my casual computer, it just likes to. Oh, come on. Really? Okay. Okay. Trying to get potential picture of that, or try to see if there's even a picture of that storm. And it looks like that tornado warning has expired. Okay. So Truman. I think it might just get overshadowed by what we saw earlier in the year. Tornado. Yeah, I mean, oh wait. Okay, so it looks like from the photos I'm seeing right now, it does look like there might have been like a tiny rope tornado, which makes sense. I mean, the photo makes sense because there's a bunch of storms um right next to each other. So from the photos I've seen on Twitter, he said tree mount, which it's not quite it, but um, okay. But it looks like it was a tiny rope tornado from what I could see. I don't want to share it because I don't want to get like I was a storm chaser myself, so I don't want to get in trouble for using someone's photo with, or like getting a controversy with that. But because I don't like when my photos get distributed, but I would have shown credit anyways. So we do have a possible tornado possible labeled as well with that. So tornadoes possible. Minnesota. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, so no tornado warnings at the moment here. If this continues on for the next couple of minute or maybe the next hour or so, I think we'll be live for the next hour or so. So let's see what happens. Oh, we do have lightning alert in Mankato. Yeah, I think this blob of storms will probably just about, I mean, it might actually hit Twin Cities. However, it most likely won't be severe. The potential's there, but it's just, I don't know. We'll see. See what happens. There have been some storms that have been firing ahead of it, or ahead of this line of storms. I think these ones aren't as severe. It's starting to turn into a little bit of a blob. And yeah, blobs, you don't want to see blobs in. We do have a new tornado warning here on that storm. And this one is kind of, I mean, this is pretty much identical to what we saw earlier this afternoon near Sioux Falls. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that. I think really it's pretty far away from the Minnesota border, but really anything that happens in northern Minnesota will most likely come into southern Minnesota, or northern, whatever happens in northern Iowa could actually affect what we see in southern Minnesota. So it looks like actually this line of storms might gradually be going. It could actually hit the impact Owatonna potentially. I think it's like maybe not that northeast, maybe like this northeast. So we'll see. But we could definitely see some showers, some heavy, maybe some thunder showers here in the Twin Cities soon. Nothing severe, luckily. So, but I think the thing that I learned about, I think the reason why my stream went poof a couple of hours ago, or was it an hour ago, like hour and a half ago, was because of I had a window, or I had a tab open on my computer, so which was quite crazy how it did that, but whatever. So because once I tried opening Twitter, like it just completely, like it started lagging on my side stream. So but I will most likely be live tomorrow. Oh goodness me. Let's see. I haven't checked what they did to tomorrow's risk here. It looks like, so the Twin Cities tomorrow might actually be safe. There's still that chance, but still something to pay attention to, but mostly a wind threat. And it looks like we might be streaming tomorrow. We'll see what happens. It looks like it's been just straight line wind threat most of the day. We did have a tornado though. Someone said tree mount though, or the video said tree mount, so I'm a little confused about that, but that might have been a tree mount, because I mean that's literally the only, like, let's see, tree mount. Let's see if that's even a location in Minnesota. Okay, never mind. Wait. Okay, so that was okay. So the photo that I saw was just a tiny rope tornado that just about hit the ground. So there was definitely a tornado there. That's kind of cool though. Very small rope tornado, and in the photo you could see like just clouds and stuff. If I could actually pull it up, I probably would have, but yeah, let's see. Is there? But Albert Lee, should we change cameras here? I'm thinking that there might be a camera here. We'll try changing the Mankato one. See if we can get a better picture. I kind of like using, oh wait, actually, there might be. Is there one near Janesville? Please tell me there's one near Janesville. I swear there was a bunch near Janesville. Nope. Never mind. I just don't want one that's, oh, Waseca. Maybe near, where's this, Owatonna? Oh, God. What's this pointing at? I don't get it. We'll get this one. I think this one looks good. As we're starting to go into the nighttime hours. I don't know if this one's pointing towards it, Owatonna. But Try to do this real quick. They're perfect. Okay, so we're just monitoring this storm right here. Not much is going on. Tornado possible label. I'm wondering about these storms. I think these storms are way far ahead. And plus they're kind of blowing together. We'll keep an eye on them still. But apart from that, we do have this tornadic storm that's currently heading for Spencer. And it's more of a, you can kind of see that inflow notch there. Going around right about right there. So you kind of have that inflow notch. And that's exactly what we saw like a couple of hours ago. But what happened with our storm here along the I-90 corridor is basically we had a bunch of storms pretty much fire in front of it, and that pretty much just when I say a bunch of storms, probably like 3 or 4 storms fired ahead of it, and that pretty much just ruined the potential. So yeah. So let me make sure that we have anything. There we go, perfect. Still tornado possible label. Let's look at velocities here. See if we have anything. Ooh, we do have some possible. I think this might be some corruption, or what do you like to call it? This might be a little bit of just too good to be true. There are some points of, not that one. There is a point of some possible rotation, but we'll keep an eye on that. As we do have a tornado possible label, and this is starting to look like the storms that we saw earlier. So, and it's still in a good environment. So we'll see. Oofda, I'm gonna lose my voice. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I think that storm is pointing south. I hope it's pointing like wet. I hope it's pointing like southwest or just west. Because that's directly pointing at the storm right there. Yeah. Because, okay, so if we look right here, like the camera's location is around right there. So hopefully I feel like it's pointing somewhere like right there, maybe, in that general location. Because I mean, it looks dark. We'll see. Not entirely sure. So, but we do have a couple. I mean, we do have a destructive damage threat on the storms here in just around the northern Iowa area here, and that will eventually enter into southern Minnesota here. So keep an eye on that. We do have a couple of blobs of some thunder showers here. I don't think they're going to be quite severe because they are pretty close to one another. And then we also have a bunch of them too near like La Crosse and stuff. So a couple of thunder showers here. The Twin Cities, yeah, we might see some thunder showers move through the region here as well. And this will actually most likely continue like throughout the nighttime hours, probably towards this direction. Will it be severe by the time it like gets into western Wisconsin? Probably not. But we are approaching, like, it's 8:35, so there's still time. I just feel like the most severe stuff will most likely be along the I-90 corridor. So we'll pay attention to this storm right here, as there is a tornado possible label on this severe thunderstorm warning. But we also have these storms right here in northern Iowa with a little bit of tornadic potential too. We'll go back. Yeah, you can see a little bit of an inflow notch there. There's actually another one too. Yeah, there's actually another one right over here. Oh, there's another one right there too. So, and you know, there was a tornado. There was a tornado near Truman again. Second time this year, of like less than, actually a little more than a month apart. So, but oh gosh, where? Oh, there we go. I was like wondering why like the storms right here weakened significant. I was just on the wrong radar site. So we still have those. Let's see what's going on in Mankato. You can see in your top left corner, that's where we have that traffic camera. You can actually see a little bit of lightning alert in Mankato. Owatonna, I'm not entirely sure where that direction is coming from. It's not like on the Wisconsin traffic cams where it tells you, but yeah, I'm about to lose my voice. Holy smokes. But oh my goodness. But we'll keep an eye. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on these storms. So, but it really depends. So tomorrow's live stream really depends if it's still in like, if it's in like western Wisconsin, like Black River Falls, La Crosse, Eau Claire, like I would probably still do the live stream. But if it's in like Madison or like Oshkosh or Green Bay, probably not. I mostly cover all of Minnesota and then west central Wisconsin. So pretty much like this patch right here and then also La Crosse. Pretty much, yeah, La Crosse as well. We got a new reflectivity, or we got a new radar scan. We'll actually go back to velocities here. Just because there is a tornadic potential, and we do have, this was actually something that we noticed earlier, and I think that there's going to be a new radar scan coming soon, but something to pay attention to right there. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's a little bit of some rotation over just south of Winnebago, and then also over here probably, I mean, there's a little bit, oh gosh, there's a little bit of rotation just south of Garden City as well. But I think this one near Winnebago, there's a little faster wind speeds. I think we might actually have a inflow notch too last time I did. Yeah, a little bit, but not too bad. So just a little bit of rotation there. Actually, I'm going to keep it on rotation here, or on velocities, as we do have that. But if you live in like Mapleton, Winnebago, you're kind of already hit. Minnesota Lake, pretty much along the Highway 22 here. You know, there is a chance this severe thunderstorm warning will probably be extended with a tornado possible label, because this is definitely, I mean, that's definitely something to pay attention to. It's not like there's going to be a tornado, but we'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see. But there is a little bit of rotation just south of Winnebago. So, oh, here we go. Yeah, I mean, it's like that red touching the green pretty much indicates some rotation. Let's actually look at the reflectivity here. Yeah, I mean, there's not much going on here. Let's see here. We do have, I mean, there's a couple of inflow notches, but like, I don't think this is really strong enough to produce some inflow, but still something to pay attention to. $half size tail, and then 60-mile-per-hour winds too. And then this one right here, or this storm right here, tornado possible, 1-inch, quarter-size tail, 80 miles per hour, destructive label. It's kind of heading towards that northeast direction, so we'll eventually most likely get into Ethersville, and then maybe Fairmount and Blue Earth later tonight. However, I don't think it's going to be as severe, so we'll keep an eye on it. We'll keep an eye on those storms. I think really, if we don't get a tornado warning in the next probably maybe 30 minutes, might end off the live stream. We'll see though. We'll see what happens. So it's just, I think everything is starting to calm down, and then we're starting to see some thunder showers here in Twin City. There might be a little bit of thunder, but don't be surprised if you hear a couple of rumbles of thunder in the Twin Cities here. But also here, just north of Blue Earth. I think this will actually most probably be extended. Let's look at the latest velocity scan. And yeah, you still have that little bit of rotation just ahead of the storm. But it looks like it's kind of weakening over the last couple of scans. So I think I'm going to give it until 9 p.m. So we'll see what happens. I don't want to jinx it though. I don't want to jinx it. But things are starting to just get a little quiet, I guess. And then these storms near Austin and Preston, these ones don't look severe. They're already jumbled up too, so no severe thunderstorm label on these. It's just mostly this one right here. We'll have to keep an eye on this one because this one is it's gonna probably cross the border actually pretty soon here. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll definitely keep an eye. So let me see something real quick. Zoom settings. Can hear thunder near, yeah. So yeah, some thunder showers over near Minneapolis. However, no severe weather is expected. Just probably near Mankato. How's the traffic cameras doing? Owatonna, you can't see much. But Mankato, you can occasionally see flashes of lightning. That was actually a pretty bright one, just now. So yeah, but this will gradually just go to the northeast here. Luckily, no severe weather expected. So, but I feel like it will be nice to sleep tonight with the occasional thunderstorms, unless you don't like thunderstorms. But I kind of do. But yeah, there was confirmed tornado, so that's kind of cool. Near Truman, which where is Truman now? Completely forgot where. Oh, it's right over here. So we did have a tornado near like Truman. I think it was like right around this location. We saw a tornado, we actually saw one tornado right around this location right here. I think I was actually right here when I saw that tornado. And then I think there was like a second one right around here. So quite close. Very close to that previous one. So I don't know. I don't think they'll allow this severe thunderstorm warning to expire. 16 minutes remaining on it. So, but I don't want to say this was a bust because you don't want to jinx it, but I think mostly today was a wind threat, and especially with the lines of storms expected, we did see a tornado. That's good. I mean, it wasn't not good, but we did see it was a rope tornado from looking at Twitter. It was just a rogue tornado that I saw. So at least I don't want to pull it up on stream because it's not just yet, because it's like storm chasing community is kind of going through like a phase where it's you don't know, like a lot of people don't want their stuff broadcasted without their permission. So I'm gonna be safe and I'm not gonna broadcast anyone's tornado pictures and stuff. So yeah, and I'm a storm chaser myself, so I don't like when people do that either. Like, pay me $100 if you want to see you know, a tornado picture, you know, or something like that. I don't know, just I gotta pay for college somehow, you know. So checking on, look at that perfect right triangle over here in just southwest of Spencer. I think they're actually allowing that to expire. Let's look at the velocities real quick. Actually, I don't think they're going to allow that to expire. That's a couplet right there. Quite a significant one. So, I guess, yeah, interesting. And then I think there's actually another kind of couplet right there just west of Spencer as well. And it just updated. Yeah, just a little bit. Couplet. Just southwest of Spencer. This one right here, it does look like there's a couplet, but I think once we get into Twin Cities, yeah. So I mean, there's a little bit of rotation to head out from the storm, but it's not. There's no clear definitive thing. So, but if this is, I mean, if they're going to allow this severe thunderstorm warning to expire, I'll probably just end the stream pretty soon, probably around 9 o'clock. There's a monster in Nebraska that formed fast and died fast, but it had, oh my goodness, so horizontal vortices. That's crazy. Jeez. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically like tentacles coming out of the tornado, which is just crazy. That I've never seen that before, but I think there were a couple tornadoes in the past that have done that, and it's just memorizing. It's quite scary too. But I think that's when we first started the stream, when that occurred. And then we were focusing on southwestern Minnesota because there's a couple of tornado warnings in Sioux Falls. And then someone asked me, "Oh, are you broadcasting the thing that's going on in Nebraska?" I'm like, "Oh, what's going on in Nebraska?" And I see a PDS, like particularly dangerous tornado warning. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" So, sadly, we're not forecasting for Nebraska, just Minnesota. Which, I mean, there's pros and cons to it. Like I can't really see what's going on here. Of course, these storms right here, I think will definitely eventually impact areas like Fairmount and Blue Earth, but the tornadic potential is tough. What even is a couplet? Oh, what is a couplet? I hope I can find. Please tell me. Let me see if I can find a couplet for you. Okay. So a couplet, I'm going to zoom in on this one. What's a good one that I can show? It's kind of, okay, this is a miniature one. It's not quite a couplet, but it's when you have this red and green, like just two blocks of red and green pixels touching each other. And usually the brighter they are, the more intense the wind speeds are. So this right here, I think this actually got extended. Where's the tornado warning? Yeah, so like this one right here, actually, you have this one right here, which has technically this is still green. It's blue though. And then also you have this one right here too as well. So that's kind of like a couplet. So basically you have red pixels directly touching green pixels. And usually that indicates some sort of rotation. It actually most likely indicates at least a wall cloud. It's actually surprising because, you know, I'm not new to storm chasing, or, you know, this was my first year storm chasing, or actually something like this, but this is quite corrupted right here. But this would be considered kind of a couplet, very broad couplet, where you have red and green touching. So, but that's just corrupt right there. This is actually what we're looking at. So, hoofda. But I think if this severe thunderstorm warning expires, I think I'm going to just end off the stream there. because that's pretty much everything. We do, of course, have that tornadic potential there, but yeah, no problem. So there's a lot of things I'm probably saying right now that don't make a lot of sense, but I try my best to explain them. Try my best. But I think we've been going on for, I think this, when did we start? Like 4? Oh, okay, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. Well, I jinxed myself. I guess I'm not going to bed tonight. So we'll keep an eye on this. If there's a tornado warning, let's say before 9:15, we'll say that. If there's a tornado warning before 9:15, then yeah. But we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for tornado possible label on it, and then also $half sized hail, and then also 60-mile-per-hour winds possible with that. And that's this storm right here, kind of this boa echo. So usually when you see like kind of a U shape in a way, like this sticking out, that usually indicates that you have like strong winds. And the strongest winds are most likely kind of at the tip of that. So yeah, usually at the tip. So usually the strongest winds, probably, if I had to guess, probably over Mapleton right now. So, but I mean, there is occasionally some cut, like, yeah, we'll give you guys an update on this, but 9:15 I think is going to be it. But oh, how's the videotapes going? Who's shining that bright light in Owatonna? What the heck? Let's see here. Can I find a better picture? The Owatonna one isn't too bad. Oh, what's this one near Mapleton? Oh, nothing. I'm trying to find a good picture. Janesville maybe? Oh shoot, I forgot that we checked out Janesville and nothing really. Mankato I think is right there. Let's see here. I guess we have to stick to Owatonna, I guess. I think it was this one right here. Oh, actually, this is a good camera. Never, Southwest. Okay, this is perfect. So the one on the middle of your screen, bottom, wait, middle left middle of your screen, that's Owatonna. That's actually pointing pretty much where I want it to. It's very hard to find things like that, but that's pretty much. It's pointing like this, like that's the camera, and then it's pointing probably like right there. So that's actually kind of perfect. We'll keep an eye on this. Like I said before, the new severe thunderstorm warning does include a tornado possible label, $half sized hail, and then 60 miles per hour. So if we don't get a tornado warning by 9:15, we'll just end the stream. You know, doesn't mean that there's not going to be any tornadoes for the rest of the day or rest of the night. It just means that there's a potential. Wait. It just means that I want to go to bed, but no, I'm just joking. It's actually great keeping you guys entertained and stuff, making sure that you guys are up to date with like all the weather stuff. We are seeing those thunder showers move into Minneapolis. Nothing severe, luckily. The closest severe storm warning that we have to Twin Cities is in Mankato. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. And then of course we have these storms gradually getting closer to the Iowa and Minnesota border, but we'll keep you guys updated on that. But hoofda. So, oh jeez. But we do have a couple of showers here just south of Rochester. These are just continuing. I mean, they're probably just some thunder showers as well, and then also some north of La Crosse as well. So, but ooh, okay. Well, I think I might have just jinxed myself. Because Spirit Lake now has a tornado warning. That's right on the border too. So right on the border of um, the Iowa and Minnesota border. I think this is actually pretty much like the Twin Cities issues warnings for here, and then Des Moines issues warnings for here. Pretty much like border, you know. Twin Cities usually they issue one. Actually, no, this might be Sioux Falls. Never mind. This is I think Sioux Falls. Is it? Yeah, it might be. Because it's kind of like that three-way fight. I think Twin Cities might be a little far away. Yeah, because I think Twin Cities they might issue, for example, like, let's see here. I think Twin Cities they issue like kind of like this area, and then they kind of go like off like this, and then that's like Lacrosse. Lacrosse issues their warnings like this. Sioux Falls. I'm not entirely sure how Sioux Falls does. I think they do it like this. I kind of get it like this. And then of course you have Duluth up there too, like probably like right there. So that's kind of how severe thunderstorm warning. Like Sioux Falls right there, Iowa, or no, they might actually issue. I don't know. I'm completely losing my mind right now, but there is a tornado warning that could definitely enter Minnesota soon. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. But I think this is more of what we saw earlier in the afternoon with, yeah, let's see here. Where's that velocity? Oh, maybe we can get a couple out of this. What? Okay, this is just corruption. Like, just straight, just, I forgot the word for it. Wait. Radar corruption. Is it corruption? Other synonym. It might be corruption. Gosh, I don't know. But you can see a lot of yellow from it. So, not a very good example from that. But that's really on the edge of the Iowa border. So, we're keeping an eye with these storms, and then also, or this storm near Mankato, and then also, I think heading kind of towards Owatonna as well. We do have on that bottom stream here, like on the middle bottom, yeah, middle bottom, or not, middle left side of the screen, there is Owatonna, just pointing southwest. So, and then also, top left is Mankato, which is getting a lightning storm right now as well. So, and then also that, yeah, so that will be interesting to see what happens with that. But is there any observed tornadoes? Observed tornado warnings right now. There's only 4 tornado warnings. Holy smokes. Okay. So this might be a long stream. Holy smokes. Oh jeez. So I think I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna quickly grab some water because I'm starting to lose my voice. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, keep you guys posted. So yeah, I'll be right back. Probably like 3 minutes, 5 minutes. All right, I'm back. We do have some potential. Oh gosh. So we do have some a tornado warning potentially gonna cross over the Iowa border pretty soon here, and then also this one right here, pretty much the same as usual. Look at the velocities real quick, and not much rotation out of this, so keep an eye on that though. Yeah. Definitely keep an eye on this part right here. As we do have, they did extend this tornado warning here. I think it could definitely see it cross into Minnesota and Wisconsin. Or no, just Minnesota, not Wisconsin. Not quite there yet. So, Western settings. Trying to see everything. Good. Okay. So, and then we do, I think this is once again starting maybe to string, no, maybe not. I was about to say it's starting to form that bow echo shape once again. I mean, it's starting to, this used to be like just a clump of storms. Now it's starting to once again start to just re-strengthen just slightly. So now Alexa's saying it's time for bed. So but we kind of have two sets of storms here. So we have this one right here, which is the one that we've been going over for the last couple of hours. And then we also have this one, which basically started in Sioux City. That's, I believe, the one that actually featured that one PDS tornado warning. So these will gradually, like, probably, this one will probably just about enter the Minnesota border. And then this one might actually just like kind of continue. They'll probably merge eventually tonight, probably around like midnight. So yeah, they did issue a new severe thunderstorm warning for that 70-mile-per-hour winds, considerable damage. Okay. So, but we'll see. But I think we're getting close to potentially, sadly, ending the stream, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't want to end the stream right before these tornado warnings, but it does look like we'll definitely keep an eye on these ones right here. Velocities, we do have, okay, we do have a little bit, we do have one couplet right over here near Arnold's Park. And I think we had another tornado warning for a separate thing. I mean, there's a little bit of corruption right here. I think there's actually one right there, and then not quite there, but yeah, you have 2 points of potential rotation right there. So keep an eye on that, but it's gonna be a while. So, oh wait, it just updated too. I mean, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, this one actually looks like it's drying. I mean, that one might be rotating quite a bit there. So, and then this one right here also. So, yeah, a lot of lightning with this. I think in the top left corner, Mankato, yeah, still lightning, quite a bit of lightning. And then the one near Owatonna is that one right there. Not much is going on around that one. I think that one actually still, it'll soon be in the severe thunderstorm warning. I think it's, so basically that camera is right around right there, and it's pointing kind of parallel to where I kind of want it to. The storm, yeah, kind of like that. So we'll eventually maybe even see a shelf cloud. We'll start to see some lightning out of that camera in the middle left of your stream, or middle left of your screen there. And then there's also this one right here. This is starting to probably grow a little bit. I think what we're starting to see is these storms potentially start to kind of do this shape right here. Like it's starting to form a little bit more of a tail. And I think actually with this, if you live in parts like Owatonna, Faribault, I think this could actually start to go this way. So I think later, like in a couple of minutes to hours, I think we'll start to see this gradually continue to the northeast, and I think it's actually regaining steam. So that's pretty interesting. I think let me try to see if I can reload, kind of do a recap of what exactly happened. Can I? Let's see here. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Maybe this. Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. I was like, oh, perfect. But there you go. Alright. So we are. I mean, it's very close. I think they didn't extend those severe thunderstorm warnings. So that's quite interesting. But what's going to be interesting is you have this tail forming, but you also have this storm. So there's going to be like a point of contact here between this, which that'll be interesting to see if, I think these showers right here might actually like prohibit much of that tornadic potential, pretty much near like Fairmount, and then also like Shelburne and Jackson. I think heavy rain is still likely, and maybe some straight line winds, but apart from that, I think that will kind of probably interfere within the next like 30 minutes. So we'll see. See what happens there. But still a tornado possible label on that one. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think, yeah, I'll give it until like 9:15. We'll give it until 9:15 until we end off the stream. I mean, it was a pretty good run. We had a tornado, observed tornado. My first tornado on live stream. Pretty cool. Technically. So that was kind of cool. I don't think anything was hit. It looked like a weak tornado on Twitter. So luckily, I don't think it hit anything. So that's good. And then, yeah, a little bit of rotation right there. So that will gradually like move there. But the problem with these tornado warnings and like this rotation here is that you also have this right here. You have basically this blob of storms right here. So it would eventually like actually hit these showers, which will be interesting to see kind of what exactly happens there. And we do have just a wide tornado warning for like Algona, Iowa. So cool. And also here in yeah, just right on the border too. So, but we'll see if any tornado warnings cross into Minnesota. I think eventually these might actually just like traverse, maybe like northward. Like what we could definitely see is like these right here. Oh gosh, that was a horrible drawing. We'll see this gradually go to the northeast here. And they might still be tornado. We'll have to see that because we also have this system right here, which is kind of doing the same thing. And I feel like what we're already seeing is kind of this tail get in the way of this portion right here. So the tornado warnings that we see right here might actually get interfered. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens there. But keep an eye on that. So, but we have not had a tornado warning in Minnesota for a while. I can actually check. Twin Cities NWS Twitter. We can see one in the last 19 minutes. No, that was a severe thunderstorm warning. Let's see here. Yeah, they're saying, so the National Weather Service is saying like so around like 10, so this line of storms right here, oh gosh, this line of storms right here might impact areas like Austin, Rochester around like 10 to 11 p.m. So not until like 2 hours from now. So which is quite crazy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So it's start. Oh, you can start to see some lightning in that Owatonna cam. So that's pretty interesting. But apart from that, but that is really starting to bow out. Look at that. That's actually interesting. Okay. It's starting to really form that bowing shape. So we might actually see some stronger winds from this. Interesting. Interesting. Just got a new radar scan here. Let's see here. What do we have for velocities? Never mind. Velocities look pretty pretty slow in terms of wind speeds. Oh my goodness, what the heck happened? There we go. So yeah, we might actually get some damaging winds here. Near like Owatonna. Kind of like, you can see that forming bow echo too. So that's quite interesting. But let's see what's happening over here. And yeah, you can start to see, I mean, it's starting to turn into a little bit of a mess. Oh my goodness, speaking of, holy smokes. That is just, oh. Look at like how ugly that looks over here. That is just, yeah. Anyways, so we do have, I mean, there's a little bit of rotate. I mean, you know, there's a little bit right there. Definitely some, oh, never mind, it just went away. There was a little bit of rotation right there. Still probably is, but not too much. Let's go back to Mankato, see what's going on over here. Not much is going on. So, I think that will pretty much. Don't want to end the stream just yet, but it's like, because I mean, what's gonna happen is you got all these storms right in front of it, and it's like there's a lot of disruption. So what's gonna happen is you have these tornadic storms kind of going in this direction here, but guess what's in front of them? All of this kind of crap, you know? So what will happen is kind of what we saw earlier with our last storm, or our dominating storm from like 4 to 5 p.m. or 5 to 6 p.m. Kind of ran into some other storms in front of it and then pretty much diminished that tornadic threat. So I think that's what's probably going to happen with this storm. Other than that, I think that will pretty much end off the stream. Of course, to end it off here, we do have some thunder showers here in the Twin Cities, or Minneapolis, yeah. And then also this will be quite interesting. We do have kind of a bowing shape right there, over just east of Mankato. But apart from that, looks quite, you know, doesn't look too bad. I mean, we could definitely see some stronger wind gusts heading for like Fairmount, Waterway, Waseca, Warsaw, Did I say Faribault? I think I said Faribault. Faribault, Warsaw, Waterville, Janesville, Waseca, Owatonna too. So, but I think that will pretty much end off the stream. So, we do have some tornado warnings here. These might honestly, it's gonna really depend. But I think this strip right here, this kind of tail, once these tornadic storms enter that, it's just, you know, I think they're just gonna fall behind, to be honest. But we'll see what happens. I think overnight these storms might just like, they'll kind of do this, But they'll probably weekend. They'll weekend by the time I think they reach over Twin Cities. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed that live stream. First live stream, successful live stream technically, in the Twin City, or just live streaming storm coverage. But the storm chase I had earlier this year, sadly, before I even saw the tornado, it ended the stream because I ran out of hotspot data. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll keep you guys updated on tomorrow's severe threat and potentially going live for